Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to tackle the one thing that stops so many people before they even start, the setup. I'm going to walk you through 5 super simple steps to get Python up and running so you can go from zero to coding in just a few minutes. Let's dive in.
So have you ever been there? You're excited, you're ready to build something awesome with Python, but then you hit this wall of installers, weird settings, and confusing commands? If that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. This is all about breaking down that wall and getting you to your first working program easy.
Okay, let's jump right into step 1. This one's pretty straightforward. We just need to get the Python interpreter on your computer. Think of the interpreter as the brain that actually understands and runs your Python code, and we're going to get it straight from the source.
Okay, listen up, because this next bit is crucial, especially if you're on a Windows machine. There's one tiny little checkbox during the installation that is going to save you from a world of headaches later on. Seriously, this is probably the single most important click of the whole process.
It's super simple. You're going to go to python.org, grab the latest version, and run the installer. But as you're clicking through, you'll see this option, Add Python to Path. You have to check this box. So what does it do? Basically, this little check mark tells your computer, hey, remember where Python is? So you can run it from any folder, not just its special little installation folder. Trust me, it makes life so much easier.
All right, installation done. Now for that little moment of triumph. Let's make sure it actually worked. We're just going to quickly confirm that your computer knows what Python is now.
To do this, we need to open up something called a command line interface, or a CLI. You can just think of it as a direct chat window to your computer's brain. If you're on Windows, you're looking for a command prompt or PowerShell. On a Mac or on Linux, it's just called the terminal.
Once you've got that black window open, you're going to type this command exactly as you see it. Python, then a space, 2 dashes, and the word version. You're basically asking your computer, hey, you got Python? What version is it? If it spits back something like Python 3.12, then boom, step 1 is a massive success.
Okay, stick with me here, because this next step might sound a little pro, but I promise it's a super simple habit that's going to save you so much trouble later on. We're going to create what's called a virtual environment. This isn't a chore, it's your secret weapon for keeping all your projects from turning into a chaotic mess.
So what on earth is a virtual environment? The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine you have 2 different Lego sets. Are you going to dump all the pieces for both into one giant tub? No way. You'd give each set its own box, right? That's exactly what a virtual environment does for your code. It's a clean, separate toolbox for every single project.
And here's why that is just so important. Without a VEN, as we call it, maybe Project A needs an old tool, and Project B needs the shiny new version. They're going to fight, things will break, and you'll be pulling your hair out. But with a VEN, each project is in its own happy little bubble. Total harmony, no conflicts, no problems.
So how do we actually do it? It's just a few commands in your terminal. First, get into your project folder. Then you'll run this command, python-m venv. That creates a new folder called venv with a fresh copy of Python just for this project. Then you just have to turn it on or activate it. The command's a little different from Mac and Windows, but the big giveaway that it worked? You'll see venv pop up right there in your command prompt. That means you're officially inside your project's clean little workspace.
Okay, Python is installed, your Pro Workspace is set up, now we just need a place to actually write the code. And yeah, you could technically use any old notepad, but trust me, using a proper code editor is a total game changer.
The awesome thing about modern editors is that they're not just blank pages. They actively help you. 2 of the best, and they're both totally free, are VS Code and PyCharm. They do things like color code your text to make it easy to read, that's called syntax highlighting, and they even guess what you're trying to type. It's like having a helpful assistant built right in.
All right, this is the moment we've been working towards. All that setup stuff, it was all for this. We're about to write and run our very first Python program. And we're not just doing the basic hello world, we're going to give it a little personal twist. So go ahead and open up whatever editor you chose. VS Code, PyCharm, doesn't matter. Make a new file and be sure to save it inside that project folder we made. Let's call it helloworld.py. That .py at the end is super important. It's what tells your computer, hey, this is a Python file. Now, just type this little bit of code into that file. So what's it doing? Pretty simple, actually. The first line, with input, just asks for your name and then saves it.
The next line, the print one, uses that name to print a custom greeting just for you. Simple, right? But it's interactive.
Okay, once that's saved, pop back over to your terminal for the final step. Double check that you still see the VNV there. That means your special workspace is still active. Then you just type Python and the name of your file, helloworld.py, and hit enter.
And just like that, there it is. Your computer asks for your name, you type it in, and bam! It says hello right back to you. That's it, you did it. You wrote and ran a real Python program. You've officially conquered the setup, and that is a huge first win.
What you just did, setting all this up, is the exact same professional foundation that's used to build, well, everything, from little scripts to massive AI projects. That first big hurdle, it's gone. So the only question left is, what are you going to build next?